Alright, so today it's Foundation Friday. This is where I try out new foundation every single Friday on my channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time. But today I'm trying one that is just kind of like a random find that I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about that I wanted to try out. I saw it on Ulta and it sounded right up my alley, so we will see. But I was going to do the Tarte Found Sealer review today, but then I looked at the bottle and it looked like it was going to be too dark, and I have a few things to do today. A little bit ironic because this one is obviously a little bit too dark too, but that will hopefully be coming next week or the week after, the Tarte Found Sealer. But today we're going to be testing the Juice Beauty Phyto Pigments Flawless Serum Foundation. Juice Beauty is cruelty-free, and it says on here they have plant-derived ingredients. This foundation retails for $44. It comes in 10 shades, so not the best shade range at all. Could definitely use some work there, but the description says skin perfecting foundation and age defying serum in one. It says it's buildable to full coverage, blends seamlessly for a natural finish, doesn't settle into fine lines and wrinkles. That's basically it. Medium to full coverage, has vitamin C and E in it, which I like. And it says it has a weightless texture for comfortable long wear. I picked up the shade 11 Rosy Beige, which is not the lightest shade. We will see how the shade goes in the demo part of the video. If you enjoy Foundation Friday videos, you can give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And if you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Let's get into trying out this Juice Beauty Phyto Pigments. I just think of, what's that dough? Phyto Pigments Flawless Serum Foundation. Here we go. Alright, so right now it is 7:47 in the morning when we are starting this. I have these like massive fluttery sleeves on right now, so we're gonna attempt to not get foundation all over these. So let's take this guy out of the box. I haven't seen the shade yet. It says to shake it really well, and I can definitely see why, because it looks pretty watery and it sounds pretty watery. Really pretty bottle. I love this like gunmetal color right here. Whoa, it looks super watery. Shade looks like it's gonna be a little bit dark. I didn't get the lightest shade because I just went by the undertone in the description, and I thought the lightest shade might be too light. I still need to get this earring put back in that like fell out. Okay, so we're gonna do half my face with the brush, half with the sponge. It says medium to full coverage, buildable. Has an interesting scent. It doesn't smell like it's artificially fragranced, but definitely has kind of like a interesting, naturally kind of scent. I would rather have it smell like this than have artificial fragrance in it. It feels really liquidy when it's going on, but as you blend it out, I can feel it start to kind of set down, so I like that. It doesn't feel like super slidey. Yeah, I think the shade is definitely about a shade too dark, not too bad. With the brush, it's looking like, I would say I got light coverage on that one layer. It does say it's buildable up to full. You can definitely still see redness, freckles, and stuff coming through, so I would say it's light coverage. Doesn't quite look like medium coverage to me, but let's try out this sponge. Okay, so because this is so watery, it seems like the sponge just soaked up all of that. Like there's literally nothing left on here, and I had the same amount on the brush side, so I think this one is just a little bit too watery probably for a sponge, but let's add some more. Definitely light coverage on the sponge side. Okay, I did get a little bit more coverage on the brush side. This one looks like sheer coverage basically. So I think I'm going to try to build this up with a brush. I don't really feel like I even need to smooth this one out with a sponge. The finish looks pretty nice. It doesn't look like too cakey or anything, but let me just see how that looks on this side when I do it, and then we'll see what to do on the second layer. That almost like took some of it away, so I think brush is definitely the way to go with this one. So I'm going to try to build this up using a brush. It says full coverage, you can get this up to. I'm gonna like really bring this down. Ooh, it is building. I would say it's building to about medium coverage. Bring some of that up here. I like how as you're blending it out, you can feel it kind of setting down into your skin and stops kind of sliding. Really like that. Totally is buildable. I still can see redness coming through on my cheeks. It doesn't want to like totally cover that, but overall looking at my face, it definitely doesn't look like light coverage anymore. So I do think it's buildable. Don't quite think it's buildable to full coverage. So looking at the finish, it's looking really nice. It just looks really healthy. It's sitting really well on my forehead. Doesn't seem to be doing that thing that a lot of foundations do right between my eyebrows. It just looks really smooth, and it definitely is glowy. This does feel and look like a glowy kind of serum foundation, but it feels and looks lightweight. Like it doesn't look like I have a lot of makeup on. It's almost looking like it might kind of mattify more. So we'll see. I'm gonna wait a few minutes to do the rest of my makeup before, just to see what happens with this when it sets down. To the touch, it is still tacky feeling, but it feels like it's on there. It doesn't feel like the Maybelline Fit Me where it kind of like slides around, not the matte and poreless, the regular one. It feels like it's setting. Right now, besides the shade, I think it's looking really good. So right now it is 7:56, so we're gonna call the check-in time 8 o'clock by the time I give it a few minutes, but I will see you right back here once the rest of my makeup is on. All right, so it's now 8:21, but the check-in time is 8 o'clock. I just did like super basic kind of everyday makeup because I have a few things I have to go do today, but what am I trying to say? Rest of my makeup is on. That's what I was trying to get out, I think. Now you can definitely see it's a bit dark, whoops. So I did give it a few minutes to set down, and it feels like it's setting down in the sense that I like how it feels like it's on there for more of a serum foundation that's like a little bit rare where it's not slidey, but it doesn't set down to where you can blend stuff on top like you would have to powder your face. I powdered just this area like I normally do if I have foundation like that. I will say, if you're someone who likes powdering your entire face, powder went over this product so nicely. It doesn't look like you're adding anything more to it because I think the finish of the foundation on its own is just so pretty and like light looking. I just looked in natural lighting, took a little peek. I'm going to show you guys a clip in natural lighting in a second like I always do. But my forehead in natural lighting looks so nice. You can't see the product like sitting on top of it. It just looks like skin. It almost reminds me of the Becca Aqualuminous foundation, the way that that looks on my skin. And I really like how it looks on the rest of my face too. So right now, I have no complaints. I'm really liking it. The only thing that's like standing out to me is the shade, but that's my own fault, and they do make one lighter, so I could, you know, pick up the other shade. If I end up liking this one, I'll probably just try and exchange the shades. So on the rest of my face, I tried the Fenty Beauty bronzer again. This is the lightest shade in the Sun. And then for blush, I use the Ciate Summer Love. This is one of my favorite blushes if I can get it open. There we go, super pretty, peachy, pinky. And then for highlight, I didn't feel like I needed a whole lot of highlight because my face is pretty glowy right now, so I just wanted to brighten it up a little bit right there, so I went in with Exo Beauty Aurora. Love this one for just like a more subtle highlight, and I also put a little bit of that on my inner corner. And then for eyeshadow, I used this NARS palette, Lost in Luster. I just went in with actually the highlight shade, that's what's all over my lids, and then I put that shade into the crease. And then for liner, I didn't feel like doing a liquid liner like a wing today, so I just smudged out some of this Milk Makeup one. And then for lips, I didn't really put anything on, just put a little bit of my Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This is what I'll do if I just want like a super natural conditioning kind of thing, but it gives me like a little bit of color. It lightens it a little bit. Super exciting makeup today, you know? So that's everything on my face. Let's go see what this looks like in natural lighting and do a flash test. All right, so here we are in natural lighting. It looks a little bit funky because the foundation is too dark, and then my under eyes, it's like I kind of have like a darker mustache situation going on right here. But overall, just like looking at it, it looks so like healthy and glowy, but it's pressed in and like on my skin. Let me just show you my forehead. All right, so here's my forehead. Do you guys see what I mean? It's just one of those foundations that looks so, it looks so flattering, just the finish of it. And then here's the bottom half of my face. So like I said, if you're someone who powders, it just looks really nice over this foundation. I am getting this weird thing right now where I have like really tiny bumps on my upper lip, so that's what that is, and like around my nose. I don't know what that's from. Here's this side. I'm really digging it right now. But we'll see how it wears throughout the day. This could be one of those that looks like phenomenal right now and then it just totally goes downhill. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed it's gonna look good for the rest of the day. But let's do a flash test really quick. So I definitely don't think there's any kind of flashback because it still looks about a shade to 2 shades too dark on here. And for being so glowy like in person, it doesn't look like that on flash. You can see a little bit of shininess like right between my eyebrows, but it's not like my whole forehead is like glowing like a light bulb. Hopefully it holds up well. Like I said, I have a few errands to run today, so the next check-in will be in my car probably. But I will see you guys in a few hours back in natural lighting. Probably in the car. All right, so clearly we are not in the car. It's actually almost 4 o'clock right now, so it's been on for about 8 hours at this point. Let's take a look. I haven't looked at my face all day, so this is the first time. Okay, so it's definitely oxidized about a shade. It's looking more just like tan on camera, but in real life is looking definitely a bit orange, so now it's for sure too dark, so I would need to go with a shade that's about half a shade probably too light at the beginning, just knowing it oxidizes. It's overall looking a tiny bit more makeup-y than it did before. Like, I'll zoom in. You can definitely just like see it a bit more. It doesn't look as soft and kind of like smoothing, especially around my nose area and upper lip and like in here. I'm not getting too bad of creasing. I've definitely gotten worse. And then here's my forehead. I think my forehead still looks good. It almost to me looks like it has a little bit of not glitter, but the way that some people notice in the Flower Beauty Light Illusion, like if you didn't like the Light Illusion, I don't think you would like this one because it looks pretty similar on the forehead. It doesn't look like glitter to me, but there is something like a little bit reflective about it. I don't mind that if I like how it looks, you know, overall, but it does kind of remind me of the Flower Beauty on my forehead. I have a feeling this mixed in with CYO would be like beautiful. Still liking how it looks. Does it look like as phenomenal as it did 8 hours ago? No, but for being on for 8 hours, it doesn't look awful. Like if this was the right shade right now, I definitely would still wear it again on its own. Like I don't think it looks that bad or anything, but I'll see you guys just in a couple hours here for the final check-in at the 10-hour point. All right, this is crazy because it is 7:53 p.m. right now, so the foundation's been on for 12 hours and it is still totally light out. I'm excited. I feel like it's oxidized even more since the last check-in. I don't know, but the color almost looks like patchy or something on my face now. It looks about the same, but actually a little bit oily now, so I'm gonna zoom in. So you can see around my pore area on my nose and then my forehead. My forehead, I would say it looks a little bit oily now, not just like dewy, and I can definitely feel the oil when I touch my face like that. So I don't think that's just the glow. I think it is getting a little bit oily looking, and I definitely don't love how it looks around my nose now, but this is after 12 hours. It just hasn't worn the best throughout the day. So I'm gonna try mixing this one with the CYO just to see if it helps out with the longevity and also just make it look a little bit less makeup-y like down here throughout the day. But I really like how this looks at the beginning of the day. And for the first like 4 or 5 hours, I feel like this one has potential. So I'm not like 100% yay in love with it, but I do feel like I can probably find a way to make this one work, and I like how it looks for the first few hours a lot. Like it looks beautiful for the first 4 or 5 hours. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Foundation Friday. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. I have a whole Foundation Friday playlist that I'll put down below in the description box. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.